Defending Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are putting up Brady and Belichick-like numbers. In the last 5 seasons together, they've made the AFC Championship game 5 times, the Super Bowl 3 times, and they've won it all twice. Now, what's crazy is the success Mahomes is having without a very good defense. He's only had a defense ranked above average in expected points added per play allowed 1 time, and that was last year, and the defense finished 15th. Scary to think the success Mahomes has had, with all these below-average defenses. In some seasons, it's been way below an average defense. There's a ton of important metrics where Mahomes ranks number 1 that I could go through to show how good he is. Like his league best record of 30-15 in single-score games since he became a starter in 2018. But what I find most interesting is how good he was last year versus elite pass defenses. Of any quarterback, Mahomes faced the most pass defenses ranked in the top 10 of expected points added allowed, and in those games alone, he ranked number 1 among QBs in EPA per dropback. Another crazy stat on the screen are the quarterback win-loss records when the opposing team scores 28 or more points. This includes postseason as well. All these elite quarterbacks have losing records in games where the opponent scores 28 or more points. Mahomes is the only QB with a winning record in those games. It's tough to even find an aspect of this Chiefs team to question. Maybe you can point at the wide receiving core, but like other great quarterbacks, Mahomes is able to adapt and make whatever receivers they have work. It was always something you could point at with Brady and his wide receiver options. For any losses KC had in free agency in the offseason, the Chiefs replaced a similar level player. They replaced Juju Smith with a cheaper version of him with Richie James. Right tackle Orlando Brown left for the Bengals, but the Chiefs signed Jawan Taylor, who grades out the same. On defense, defensive end Frank Clark left for divisional opponent Denver, but KC signed Charles Omenihu, who's better pressure rate numbers and better pass rush numbers. The defense projects to be better than their league average numbers last year. This might result in less pressure on Mahomes and the offense to score. Now, before last season started, KC was expected to play the most difficult strength of schedule in the league based on opponent win totals, but lucky for KC, the opponents on their schedule underperformed expectations. In fact, only 5 of the 18 teams on their schedule went over their listed Vegas win total, lowest in the NFL. Now, this year, based on my team rankings, KC will face the 6th toughest schedule, and they don't face a single bottom 5 ranked team. They do play 5 teams rated inside my top 10, Bills, Eagles, Bengals, Jets, and Dolphins. Come December is the toughest part of the schedule for the Chiefs. From week 12 on, KC will play 6 games against opponents that have a rest advantage. 4 of those teams will have at least a 3-day rest advantage, which is huge that late in the season. It's not going to be easy for the defending champs. And it seems square betting KC to win the division or to go over their win total of 11.5 wins, but it might not be too square. Minus 175 to win the division almost seems cheap. And over 11.5 wins seems easy when you look at the resume for Andy Reid and Mahomes. Andy Reid has gone over the win total every year he's been in KC, and he's had 12 or more wins 5 straight years. Nothing about this year's team, besides any unforeseen injuries, makes me think this year will be any different. It just doesn't feel right betting favorites or overs, but if there was a spot, it'd be here with KC. They have depth. They have a bunch of TV games, so the NFL wants them to be good. I haven't bet anything on them yet, but I wouldn't argue with anyone who has futures on them. If you've watched this far, thank you. I appreciate it. That's all I got for the Chiefs. I got the Patriots up next tomorrow, so stay tuned. And until then, good luck with your bets.